Would you joining me now is country music superstar, owner of Redneck Riviera, and co-founder of Old Glory Bank, John Rich. Friend of mine, if I may say so myself. John, the border is a man-made crisis to a man. The man's name is Joe Biden. But someone has to be held accountable. Why is he consistently ignoring the border, my friend?
Well, there's some other motive at play here. I think as time drags on, we're seeing some of these motives. You know, Democrats love chaos. You know, as Obama said, never let a crisis go to waste. So this is definitely a crisis, even in their own depiction of what's going on. They've called it a crisis, the left has. So what is the opportunity in this crisis? That's nothing good. And meanwhile, I think you see this playing out on behalf of Trump right now, that people that would have never in a million years voted for Donald Trump or any Republican are now strongly considering voting for him because their neighborhoods are being overrun. They're losing their schools. The crime is going up. I mean, terrible things are happening all over the country because of this. So the whiplash effect of this could be quite significant at the end of the year, and then we're going to have a massive situation to deal with.
Take a look at this hellhole, formerly known as New York City. These animals, as Trump said, you know, the ones who are willing to commit violent crimes. Look at how they're dressed, John. They're dressed in nice clothes. They got iPhones. They've got like hot Nike sneakers. All look like they're men about military grade age, all in a town hall, standing outside town hall. And guess what they're doing? They're demanding more of our money. This is why, I don't know, the parks, I don't know, they say don't feed the wildlife, but what is this, John?
Well, it's infuriating because you and I know very well that there's United States veterans all over this country that can barely afford to eat. They're waiting for months to be seen by a doctor. You know, they're in terrible shape, and they serve the country. You know, they're the reason that we have a country in the first place, and to see it abused in such a manner, and no one is willing to do anything to stop it. This is a new era for America. I'm not sure how this works out, but there's enough people in this country right now that we don't know who they are that could be, and we've actually proven this, very dangerous people within the borders of our country, and they're all over the country. They're not localized in California, New York, or Illinois. They're everywhere. And God forbid if they decide to carry out those terrorist attacks. As we know, there are known terrorists that have made it across the border unimpeded.
I think, John, take a listen to this. I don't know if you saw this or not. I believe it was yesterday. Listen to this incredible rant from Morning Joe himself, Scarboro, who clearly woke up on the wrong side of the bed yesterday.
Donald Trump keeps talking about how America sucks. And before he got elected, America sucked. And then he got elected, suddenly America was great. Then he lost, and now America sucks again. You're voting for a guy like that? You live in the most powerful, greatest country on the face of the earth, and you're voting for a guy that tells you every day that America sucks? What's wrong with you? Who raised you? What history did you read?
That's it.
Like, where are you from? Because you may claim to be from where I'm from, but you were not raised by the same teachers I was raised by, and you don't read.
He just forgot the one line that Hillary remembered that lost her the election in 2016. Scarborough might as well ended that. What are you, deplorables? John, your take on Joe Scarborough.
Well, listen, Joe Scarborough lives in a really big house behind a gated community with armed guards out front. He gets a private car to and from work. What the hell does Joe Scarborough know about what's going on in average everyday American life these days? When's the last time Joe Scarborough bought his own groceries or pumped his own gas? When's the last time Joe Scarborough lost someone in his family to fentanyl poisoning? Okay, Joe Scarborough, that's the problem with the left right now, is none of them live in the reality that everybody else is being forced to live in. So run his mouth all day long. He's going to find out this fall that people, like I said, who would never in a million years considered voting for Donald Trump are going to vote for him in droves to try to reverse the damage that's happened to this country.
Well, the guy who stands in the way of Trump returning to the Oval Office is a guy named Joe Biden. Take a listen to, if you can decipher this, you're a better man than I am. Take a listen to this.
Ambrose Finnegan, they called him Uncle Bozy. He was shot down. He was in the Army Air Corps before there was an Air Force. He flew single-engine planes, reconnaissance flights over New Guinea. He had volunteered because someone couldn't make it. He got shot down in an area where there were a lot of cannibals in New Guinea at the time. never recovered his body.
So he started that with his father, Joe's home, his father, and then it was Uncle Bozy, and then there was cannibal. We're just a bit lost. You speak Bidenese by chance, John Rich?
Listen, if we had a relative like that at a family reunion, someone would be stationed next to him the entire time so he didn't wander out into the street. It's pathetic. It's pitiful. And America's getting a really good look at what happens when you put someone like that into the White House. We're getting a real good look. I've said this before, Eric, but unity will happen in America when our shared pain becomes intolerable. And we are approaching that point where it does not matter if you're left, right, or in the middle, where you come from, what your socioeconomic status is. We all have the same problems, and they are growing by leaps and bounds. Unfortunately, pain is a great alarm clock.
You know, you're speaking the words that we're thinking. John Rich, one more thought. This afternoon, the Senate decided against. Chuck Schumer did something that's never been done before. He decided not to do a Senate trial of the impeachment of Mayorkas. Mayorkas was impeached. They sent it to the Senate, and the Senate, instead of listening to the evidence and deciding whether Mayorkas was guilty or not, they decided not to do it. Your thoughts, final thought on the Democrats hiding a failed administration, the Biden administration?
It's physics. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. That is a fact. And what they did today will have an equal and opposite reaction when people go to vote, because Democrats just watched their own representatives not give them what they wanted, which was to get this guy out of there and put somebody in that could turn this mess around. They are suffering in these cities. They are under assault on many levels in these cities, and so are their children. And I believe in November, all of this comes back in spades.
John Rich, really good having you. Glad you sprinkled some common sense on what this nonsense is going in D.C. Remember, folks, the bar in Nashville, he's got like a PayPal-like conservative. Well, tell us quickly about that, John, if you would.
Yeah, so Old Glory Bank, oldglorybank.com, where our whole thing is you will never be penalized for exercising your constitutional rights. There will be no weaponization of your accounts at Old Glory Bank. So go check it out if you're looking for an alternative.
We shall. John Rich, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, sir.